All right, and we are getting ready to begin our next round with Chris Cassasa of Catalyst Coffee Trade in Portland, Oregon. We can do better. We can do better.
How's it going? Am I allowed to call time whenever? Okay, very cool. Time. Hi, judges. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Chris Cassasa, and I hit my mic, and I am here today representing Catalyst Trade. We are a small importing company with a focus on traceable and sustainable coffee from Ethiopia. So it should come as no surprise. I have a very fun coffee from Ethiopia to share with you today. The coffee is comprised of heirloom variety beans. It comes from Yirgacheffe, and in specific, the Dumerso washing station. And this entire routine is meant to be a celebration of Dumerso. And in fullness, celebrating the two women that run that site, Hirut and Mader Beranu. They are both sisters and CEO and manager, respectively, of the washing station. And the entire brilliance of this coffee comes from their passion and their dedication. But we can't talk about that without also talking about their resilience, which has been tested several times. In 2017, they had their washing station essentially leveled as they were on the path of violence going through the Ghetto zone at the time. And if the arduous task of rebuilding your washing station wasn't enough, that same year also brought unprecedented low temperatures to Yirgacheffe, and they also saw the contributing trees take on brutal frost damage and their harvest depleted. So luckily, they persevered, and today I get to share with you this wonderful coffee that has aromas of vanilla bean, plum blossom, and also dried hibiscus. When you drink it hot, there's red, ripe summer fruit. Think fresh raspberry. Also, acidity that represents lychee, watermelon juice in the sweetness, and that lingers all the way through to the aftertaste. And when that begins to cool, that raspberry turns into fresh strawberry, and the sweetness and the acidity meld. You get the flavor of watermelon candy, and you also get the flavor of blood orange soda. Really fun. And as that cools all the way down, those warm flavor notes prevail, except the strawberry turns into the flavor of lavender. A lot of fun, very tasty. And that is this coffee. This is the Dumerso. It is the ultra low oxygen Dumerso, is our term for that. At Catalyst, we avoid using the term anaerobic, as it can be a bit of a nebulous term in our industry. So we use ultra-low oxygen to describe coffee that only sees oxygen in the very beginning of the fermentation process. So to better explain that, ripe cherry, moved into barrel, sealed airtight, one-way airlock. As the fermentation begins, that oxygen is forced through the airlock, and the coffee is left to ferment in an oxygen-free environment. And that kicks off a bit of a microbial party. We get a lot of flavor notes that change in that process, and it's a lot of fun. From there, that coffee is moved to dry on raised beds under a mesh parabolic cover. And that parabolic cover drastically slows down the drying time. And this really amplifies the perceived sweetness of the coffee. And as we're continuing celebrating the flavors, celebrating Hirut and Mader, we also get to celebrate this incredible density bump we're getting from this coffee this year. We're actually seeing this 10% higher than our previous harvest from that. And if you're unfamiliar with the importance of density in coffee, this gives us much more soluble material inside the bean, which, just like the processing, amplifies, heightens these flavors, and makes it a lot of fun. Go, and that is why I am bypass brewing this coffee. I thought it'd be very fun to take these intense, concentrated flavors that we are getting from both the processing and from the density bump, and brewing the coffee as a concentrate itself, and diluting it down to its ideal taste. Go. So I am using the origami dripper. With its unique shape, this allows me a lot more control over the flow rate, as I need to push this brew time to get that sweetness to balance out these nice sweet flavors. And I am using 19 grams of coffee going in. And I am brewing that, or I'm blooming 60 grams of our bloom water and giving it a quick stir. And that bloom and that stir really helps saturate the grounds, evenly break apart the coffee so we can get a nice even extraction. Then I am doing 2 pours, and the remainder of those pours is 125 grams each. And after that first pour through the mellow drip, I'm giving the slurry a quick stir because I'm using the mellow drip for those pours, and that helps me get very precise brew times and brew weights, which again, ways to find balance in this coffee, really bring the fruit flavors out. But after that first pour, I'm giving it a stir because there's a lot of CO2 trapped in the slurry. And that's because we're not using much agitation with the mellow drip. And that CO2 creates little nucleation points. And those nucleation points make it really hard to evenly extract the coffee. But when we give it a quick stir, I'm not sure if you can see from your seat, you'll see a little bit of extra gas rise up to the top. And now we can much more effectively use our brew water as a solvent and get that strength we need to TDS the coffee. And for this brew time, we're looking at it about 4 minutes, 15 seconds. And again, finding that brew time, finding that sweetness, finding our ways to bring out these really fun flavors of the coffee. And this ratio I'm also adding 30 grams of water. Then that is our bypassed water. And that ends up being 10% of our final beverage weight. And that gives us a 17-to-1 brew ratio for our total final beverage weight. The 10% is the bypass water percent, if I didn't say that. And I chose this because this coffee has so much flavor. I wanted to celebrate that concentration of flavor. So this cuts out the breadth of flavor, but allows you to taste the Dumerso how I believe it wants to be tasted, but with lingering and incredible depth of flavor. And again, those flavor notes, when hot, you're going to be getting ripe red raspberry. You're going to be getting ripe red raspberry. You're going to be getting watermelon juice and acidity reminiscent of lychee. And as that cools, you're going to be getting strawberry. You're going to be getting watermelon gummy candy. And you're also going to be getting really fun flavors of blood orange soda. And then as that cools, lavender comes on board. Super fun. Awesome. And the one request I have is, when you are tasting for these notes, please use your spoon for the acidity. You're welcome to sip or slurp any of these remaining flavors. I'm gonna get this first one served for you. There you are now. And I know how difficult these last few years have been for everyone. We know how difficult everything has been for here in Madher Baranu. So I really value being able to use my voice, using my hands to share this story with you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please enjoy. And time.
Let's give a hand to Chris Cassasa of Catalyst Coffee Trade in Portland, Oregon. See, I didn't even have to ask twice. Nice work. Chris, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
You know, it's a little different up here always.
You
but
did the thing.
Got the flavor notes.
Nice.
The coffee smells great to me. I think they'll find that it tastes pretty good too. I've got my team supporting me.
You've got your whole fan club.
You know, it's fun. Thank you, everybody.
I think Microbial Party might be my favorite snippet from this weekend so far.
Thank you, thank you.
I really like that you brought that up because I feel like it's a thing in coffee we've been dancing around, like all of these processing things that aren't really finessed. And so I love that y'all are looking for a new way to approach that that's super, super clear. Also, resiliency.
It's a theme. It's a theme for all of us
Part
right
of
now.
the human condition, part of the coffee condition.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Did you come to that, like when you were looking for your coffee and thinking about what you wanted to do with this? Where did that fall for you in this whole thing?
I've known the story of Hero and Mod Hair for a while now, and it's always impressed me. So to be able to find this fresh crop coffee from them that just was loud, expressive, it was just so easy to be able to, you know, probably one of the more storytelling aspects of all the Brewers Cup routines. But it's a fun story. That's why I work where I work, to be able to have a source, you know, have a connection to these farms and tell things that need to be told.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Of course.
While you're here, I know you have your fan club and you might want to shout them out, but is there anybody you want to thank today?
Everyone at Catalyst, especially Troy, incredible help. The whole team though, Michael Roasting. I got a lot of help from Ply at Rogue Wave, #1 homie. Thank you, Ply, if you're out there. And so many other people that I'm ignoring.
Well, you gave him that acknowledgement at least.
Yes.
Anything else you want to pass on? Anything that you've learned that you think somebody should take from this?
Yes, and I'll tell them when they find me later.
There you go. All right, one more hand for Chris, y'all.
Thank you.
We're going to reset once more. We'll come back with another competitor.